because that's all it is this morning. It's snowing very lightly now, but it's been snowing since I woke up. That's what I woke up to, is snow. Woke up to a very wonky head, went to bed with a wonky head. Didn't bother vlogging yesterday because what's the point? Feel like crap. It's getting really annoying and old. Let me tell you, it's getting really annoying. I'm ready to just go to a psychiatrist and tell him, treat me as a psych patient and pump me up with drugs. Been on the phone this morning with neurosurgeon. Got an appointment next week for consultation on whether or not we should remove my mother's indwelling pain pump, because every 3 months we have to go get it filled, and it's a half an hour drive, and it's quite the ordeal, and it puts her through pain, and she's not mobile hardly at all now. You know, she gets around in her apartment, but I think we can manage her pain orally now. The reason they ever put it in years ago was because they couldn't manage the pain orally at the amounts they were giving her. She has spinal stenosis. So I had to do that. Also, we made a decision as of last night after speaking to my uncle, my mother's brother. He was according to my sister, she would concede to what I wanted to do as long as he went along with it, which is we're going to donate my mother's body to science. That's exactly what we did with my mother-in-law, and especially with my mother's advanced dementia. There's not enough science that needs to continue to be done on people's brains to find out what causes it and what they can do about it. So we did it with my mother-in-law. It was her choice. I never even heard about this until she had heard about it and signed the papers. But to no cost to the family, when the person passes, you do have to hire a funeral director to come in, get the body, and deliver it. But after that, there's no cost to the family. They deliver it right to the hospital, which is a local hospital here. It's a teaching hospital, university hospital. And then they return the remains, cremations, or how do they put the word with cremations and remains? Anyways, cremains back to you within a year to 2 years, sometimes sooner, sometimes nothing longer than 2 years, but within a year usually. So we've decided that that's what we're going to do. I have the paperwork. Got to go over and discuss it with my mother as much as I can make her understand. I am her power of attorney, and I am her health care proxy, so I'm not sure I even need her permission at this point. But I have a call in for them to let me know. I think as long as she can sign her name, that's all we need. And don't get me wrong, I had talked to her about it when she first moved here 2 years ago, because the subject came up, and I told her what my mother-in-law had already had planned. My mother-in-law didn't do this for 2 years later, of course, because she just died in October. But at that point, my mother wasn't as bad as she is now. She was bad, but nothing like she is now. And she said, I would do that. I think that's a great idea. But my sister was against it. My sister's like, I know what those medical students do to those cadavers. I'm like, yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. Tear those bodies apart and find what they can. Without cadavers, how are medical students supposed to learn? So I, being a nurse, was all for it, and she was completely against it. So while she was here, the subject came up again, and she said, I will concede if our uncle, being my mother's brother, agrees to it. And he was completely on board with me. What's your feelings on that? She was going to be cremated anyway. That was her plans, to be cremated. We still can have a memorial service, which would, at this point in her life, would mean just immediate family. She has no friends or outside people that would probably even travel here to attend, because she'd lived in Massachusetts for so many years and really lost touch with almost everybody here. Anyways, bottom line is we'll have a small memorial service, family only, and we would do that, with or without her remains. So it makes sense to me. And you know what? I want her to do it to me too. That's what I want. Take my body, find out what was going on in my brain. I'm all about that. With that being said, my brain is very wacko again. Not stroke-like, but it feels like it's taking a turn back to being bad again, like every day. Yesterday, it never let up. It just stayed really, so hard to describe, just not clear at all. And I woke up this morning with a back headache, and something told me, Lainey, take your blood pressure. Took my blood pressure, hadn't even gotten up, still laying flat, and it was 152/82, which is high for first waking in the morning. And I've had fluctuating blood pressures for a while now, and I've been trying to ignore it, but I don't think I can ignore it anymore because some of my head symptoms may be aggravated by high blood pressure. Years and years ago, I had high blood pressure, but I was 50 some pounds heavier. And when I got sick with that stomach infections, I lost all that weight and my blood pressure went right down. Came off the blood pressure medications, never gave it another thought. In the last couple years, especially whenever I'm at the doctor's, it's really high. It's really high at the doctor's, and it fluctuates, but it doesn't ever stay low. That's not a good sign. I'm pretty sure that I need to go back on blood pressure medication. I'm pretty sure. And the upside of that is that a lot of them will give you a sedative feeling. And I need that, meaning if it could help me sleep. I had to rush over to my mother's at dinner time yesterday because the aide, well, she did finally show up, but she was over an hour late. My mother had called about 15, 20 minutes before she was due to come anyways, asking me to tell her where she was. She was panicking. Where am I? Can you come get me? Take me out of here, take me home. So we talked. Look around, look at these things. You are at your own apartment. This is where you live now. I barely can tell her this is where you've been living for years, but I just say, you're okay. Oh, well, I'm so glad I called you. And I said, and now how am I going to eat? Well, you have an aide. Well, I've never seen aides. She doesn't remember 2 hours before having somebody come for lunch. She doesn't remember aides coming. She doesn't remember anything. So I said, no, the aide's coming in 15, 20 minutes. And and I understand she's going to go to your freezer, take out something, put it in the microwave, and that's your dinner, Mom, because several times lately she accuses of these people of coming into this strange place making their own meals because she doesn't even understand the whole concept that she's in her own apartment. So I talked her all through it, and then I kept popping her up on the camera, and I said, so you just wait, she's coming. She was supposed to be there at 4:30, 4:45, 5 o'clock, 5:15. No aide. My mother's sitting there waiting. And I can see on her face on the camera, she's grimacing and looks like she's ready to cry. So I jump in the car and get over there. And just as I'm walking the door, she's trying to call me again. And I said, I'm here. And I made her dinner and everything. And then the aide shows up at about, 5:30 something. And I meet her out in the hall and I said, hi, you're late. I know, the patient before her that I have is a blah, 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 blah. And I go, I understand. It's not, you don't have control of it, but my mother has no clue what the freak is going on. And if you're going to be late, you got to at least call me. You gotta tell somebody, because I can't have her flipping out. So I had to deal with all that, with my head feeling like this. Imagine that. Imagine driving, because most of you don't drive, and then having to deal with all this stuff. And it's not going to get better, and it's not going to stop. So what do? You go to a doctor and ask them to give you stuff to sedate you and keep you level in your emotions. I need a mood stabilizer? Maybe. I've been on an antidepressant for many years in the past, and it did me good. Maybe I just need to concede and go back to doing that again. Because I can't keep battling this on my own. I really can't. I cannot battle this any longer. I just... Every single morning, it never is different. So blood pressure is high. That headache went away finally, but my neck is killing me. My head is... It's snowing out. I'm trying to decide at this point. It's already after 11. I usually try to get on the treadmill by 11. And I'd probably just get on it. Or maybe not. I don't know. So that's the topic of how did they put it? It's not. How did they? I need to read the paper. An anatomical gift. That's what it is. And it's just a one-page thing. You're just donating your body. But I did, like I said, I did put a call in, and I think I'll call them again because I'd like to just speak to somebody and go, here's the situation. My mother's got advanced dementia, and, how does that work? Because all the information I read just basically said you have to be 18 and over. The only people they would refuse are people who have communicable diseases, AIDS, HIV, tuberculosis. They won't take those because they could be spread. Other than that, they accept everybody and anyone. And I need to have this in place because I don't know when the time will be. I just pray God won't let this get to the point that she's sitting in a corner babbling, pulling at her bottom lip, because there's many people like that, and it's very sad. They get to the point that they can't talk, they don't know anyone, they don't know what anything is, they don't feed themselves. Then they stop remembering even how to swallow. And that's when they basically die, is they can't take in food. And if it's a DN, you're not going to go beyond extreme measures. You're not going to put a feeding tube into this person. It's not a nice thing. Not a nice way to die. Nice way to die is the way my mother-in-law did. She closed her eyes, and she died. She wasn't in pain. She wasn't suffering. At that point, she just closed her eyes, and the Lord took her. That's what I want. I want that for myself. I want that for my mother. I want that for any of my loved ones. So I think I'll just go get on the treadmill for the fun of it. Because I think without the treadmill, my blood pressure probably would be even higher. And I'm going to check it again later on. Yeah, I'm kept finding hair in my mouth. The hair is falling out so much. It's all over me. It's everywhere I sit down and stand up. There's hair. It's just falling out. I brush and brush and brush, and the brush will be filled with hair, and I'll clean it out, and then later on brush, and it's filled again. I mean, it's coming out by the roots, because you can see the little white scalp part at the top of the hair. It's not breaking off in the middle. It's coming out of my scalp. Can't die quick enough, can we? So, thought I'd check in and talk to you later. Bye. This is the reality of being on a treadmill, sick. I'm on my last couple seconds, so I'm slowed way down. But I just want you to look in the face of someone who's chronically ill, and they go ahead and do this treadmill every single day like some kind of nutcase. Sorry about that little last vlog of me on the treadmill. I just felt like I was gonna just fall right over, and I thought, well, let's show the real how it is, how I get through that. Walking 4 miles an hour on a treadmill and on an incline. What that looks like and how it feels. So I'm watching Lyme and RMSF Warriors vlogs. Michelle. Makes me feel bad that I complain. It's like, what do you got to complain about, Lainey? Look at this young woman. Not much older than my oldest daughter, probably. So she's in my prayers. And you're in my prayers if you're watching. But so my oldest grandson, he's got his spring concert tonight. Did I mention that earlier? Probably did. Oh, I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can tell the little snow flurries. Little teeny flakes. You probably can't see it, but it is. And it will go from that to pretty snowing hard, and then it goes back to, but all day. Hasn't stopped again. It's every day. But we are supposed to get nice weather next week. So, you know, promises. Can only hope. Anyways, so my husband and I are planning on going to this concert tonight. And I'll go. I'll do it. I'll get dressed and I'll put some makeup on and I will go. Just so he knows that Gammy and Poppy were there. Because those are the things that will stick in his mind. Hopefully. And if not, when I'm ready on my deathbed, I'll remind him. Definitely, if I ever got to the point that I knew that I was dying for sure, although I feel like I'm dying every day, I would do legacy videos for each and every one of my kids and my husband and my grandkids. I think that's a wonderful gift you can give to your family. Yeah, I'm talking about death a lot, aren't I? Well, that's because that's what I'm thinking about, is getting off this world and going to heaven and being with my sweet Jesus and not having to do this anymore. You know, I was thinking about last year how there wasn't a break, not 1 month, that there was not some trauma happening in my family. And I was reliving it, like, you know, all the hospitalizations with my kids, my husband breaking his elbow, the surgery he went through, all the illnesses, you know, my grandson breaking his leg, just my brother dying in August, my mother-in-law dying in October. Last year was literally, I felt like we had a curse, and it hasn't been that bad so far. We haven't had any major things happen as of yet this year. But there's been turmoil, emotional turmoil, along with my physical pain and anguish. And then when I saw my dog again frothing at the mouth, and I'm like, every day it's something. I don't just get up and sit around and like, well, that was a boring day. Something always happens every day. Even if it's just my mother, because my mother's a daily thing. My mother's a daily thing, and that's just not going to that's not going to quit till the Lord takes her home. But, I washed my face, and yet I still feel like I got crust in my eyes. I don't know what to do to get relief. Like I just said a little while ago, and then I look at someone like this Michelle, who's got, I couldn't even count on both hands how many different diagnoses she's got. It's sad. It's sad where we're all at. Yes, I have pissy days, more than that lately, because I'm not seeing anyone get better. I'm watching people's vlogs and reading people's blogs, how they eat clean and they do all these supplements and they do all this stuff, and it's making no difference at all. I don't see any difference in the people who eat really clean to how I eat, and I don't eat really clean. I don't eat really bad. I eat pretty basic, same crap every day. Morning, I can tell you, every morning it's cottage cheese and organic. The only thing I buy organic is my blueberries, organic blueberries. And if it's not cottage cheese, it's just blueberries. And if it's not just blueberries, then blueberry yogurt with more blueberries. Every morning, that's my breakfast. My lunch is something with cheese and bean. My lunch is always crap. I'll just eat whatever I want for lunch. And then dinner is always chicken and rice and green beans. So I don't eat really bad, but I don't see those who eat really clean and have these really strict diets. Most of them are worse than me. So I'm like, what's the point? I wish I knew what the point is. You're going to, suffer yourself from ever enjoying any food. For how long? I've tried the diets. I've tried the paleo. I've tried the GAPS. I've tried... What else have I done? I've done several... Listen, since 2012, 13, when I came down with the H. pylori and the SIBO, I've tried a lot of diets. Never made a bit of difference with me. So I just look at it and go, what's the point? So I'm just hoping the LDN is going to do something. I was just saying to my friend Julie, we were talking, and I said, my sister was up over the weekend, and we were at my daughter's, and my grandkids, there's 4 of them, all under the age of 6, and they're always sick. They are always sick. Either they're throwing up, diarrheaing, or got head colds, but they are always sick. And while we were there Saturday afternoon into the evening, she was saying, oh yeah, the kids have all been sick. This one just got over this, and this one just got... And my grandson had just had diarrhea the day before, and they were all sick. But they're always like that. Well, my sister left here Sunday, and by the time she got home Sunday afternoon from driving here from New York to Massachusetts, or... Yeah, she's in Massachusetts still. Right near the Cape. She's got the worst head cold. She's sicker than a dog, she said. Her throat, she started getting postnasal drip, sore throat, head, coughing, sneezing. Just the whole the whole 9 yards, 10 yards, 9 yards, whatever. And wicked sick. And she said, thanks to the kids, because she was around the kids. I haven't had a cold once this year. Not even a sore throat. And I think I mentioned it before. Not even a sore throat, and that's unlike me. And I don't eat clean. I do take so I have to give it to the vitamin C I take. Maybe the oregano and olive leaf. And now with LDN, I'm thinking it's building my immune system. Because I'm around the kids once a week at least. I haven't gotten sick at all. Just a couple weeks ago, when we were at my granddaughter's school for that function we went to, she had been sick right before that. Well, right after that, her other grandmother who went and spent the day, did the same thing with us, she was in bed for 3 days. She got so sick being around Olivia. I was kissing, hugging, holding, grabbing, nothing. I got nothing. So as crappy as I feel, my immune system must be pretty good at this point. That's all I don't know. I don't understand any of it. I really wish it would stop snowing. I'm sorry, but this is so annoying. It's freaking April 19th. Could you stop? Somebody wrote on Facebook that Father Time switched Mother Nature's clock. Father Time switched Mother Nature's clock, and she's all confused. Yes, because truly, this is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. So that's my plan for later. Oh, I just got really dizzy. See, they just every now just looking back and forth, and then all of a sudden I feel like somebody just grabbed the couch and shook it. So I'm going to get off now because, whoa. Wish that would stop. I wish it would stop. I'm having a weird symptom. It's happened maybe 2 other times, and it hasn't happened in a long time, but it's happening again. It just started happening about 15 minutes ago. My ears feel like they're all plugged up. I hear a slight ringing in the back, but they feel plugged, and they feel like you have to pop them. And there's nothing there. I was just sitting here doing nothing, really. I was just looking at my tablet, listening to the radio, and then all of a sudden my ears just felt like they just filled up. It's very strange and very uncomfortable. And I've been sitting here, I turned everything off, so no sound. And like I said, I feel like I have to pop them, and there's nothing to pop. But they feel full. I don't know, I just wanted to come on and report this because it's happened a couple other times and lasted a good hour or so and then kind of went away. But, it's like when you're, going up a hill or down a hill and you have to pop your ears. It's that sensation of fullness. As a matter of fact, I think Jen was just mentioning it, how strange that it's happening to me right now. I can hear, but I feel like it should be muffled. Does that make sense? It feels like everything should be muffled, although I'm hearing my own voice. So I don't know. I don't know what's causing this. Just wanted to come on. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to take a shower before I try to get ready to go to this concert. get 2 hours. So I'll just wait and see if this goes away. Hopefully it will, because it's very annoying and very disturbing, to say the least.